It was a great week last week. I had a great time. The NFTs went over great. Thank you very much on Patreon. My week was great. Friday night, we had a softball game. The families went out after that for fucking a big dinner, pizza and wings and shit. And then Saturday, we had a big fucking game down in Freehold, tremendous. And Sunday parties. I mean, I was looking at my schedule before, not my schedule. I went to the kitchen and I was looking at their schedule, which I'm part of. You know what I'm saying? And it's really weird how you got to see the month of May. Like, it runs straight to fucking Memorial Day. We don't stop. And then Memorial Day weekend, there ain't no beach. Like, everybody's like, oh, Memorial Day weekend, we're going to the shore. We got so much shit just in the neighborhood. There's a day we can't even go to the one kid's party. I got to go to a kid's party, and my wife has to go to a party, and then we're going to switch Mercy around. That's how busy we are here. That's how fucking different life is from fucking California here. I mean, this is a children's state. This is a fucking child state. This is all I'm involved in. There's some days I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my life? And there's some days I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. When I was out on the road, I wasn't dealing with this stuff. I didn't really know what was going on, and I'm really sorry. And this is why now I'm all fucking in that this has happened, So I'm really happy that we're here. We did some great things this weekend. She's fucking coming along just fine. And yours truly, looking better than ever, trying. 2 weeks, no reefer, fucking Sunday anniversary. I mean, and again, those assholes that go to rehab and they come out and they try to make you feel bad. Like, my life's a lot different now. I feel so much energy. I'm not eating pasta anymore, rice.
Gluten.
It's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's just about, I would love to bullshit you guys and tell you that I ran up a mountain today without wheezing and shit like that. But no, it's the same. I feel good. I'm just doing it just to give it a break so I could get high like you normal motherfuckers. Because I'm not normal. This is not normal. This shit is not normality. This shit I was doing. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about this Monday morning is what happened last week. And what we do as comics. And what people expect from you as a comic. And what you can say as a comic anymore. When I got into this, I dove into this 150%. For the first fucking 6 months of comedy, yes, I was a pussy and I didn't get on stage and I worked as a doorman. I was watching. I was reading. There was no internet. It wasn't like there was an internet and I could fucking go on there and find out about stand-up or anything. I would just read. I would read anything I thought stand-up. Once a month, a fucking newspaper came out about stand-up out of San Francisco, John Fox. I forget what the newspaper was. It really doesn't matter. But that's the only way you had to know what was going on, or unless you went to a comedy club. There was really no internet. So my first introduction to comedy was Richard Pryor. What comes out of that man's mouth? What came out of his mouth that you didn't hear before? Everything. Everything came out of his fucking mouth. And then my second introduction was George Carlin, who I didn't like as much as Richard Pryor. I was more of a Richard Pryor type of guy. And then once I got into comedy more and more and more, like I like David Brenner and I remember Freddie Prinze and I remember those guys. They weren't my all-time favorites, but once Kennison came and Dice came and fucking, Bill Hicks came along, I started studying them. I really studied them. I rented because I didn't have the money to buy. $59 for a video was a lot of money in those days. I'd rather spend $300 on renting it than just buy it outright for $59 fucking dollars like a normal person. But I rented it every fucking other day and it ended up paying like $2,000 instead of $49. The point is, I looked at everything. Hand mannerisms. I got a notebook and I looked at hand mannerisms, the way they stand. I made notes for who touches the mic, who doesn't touch the mic, why they don't touch the mic. Is there a reason? Are they animated with their hands when they're explaining to you? Who goes back and forth? I studied all that. I studied all that. And then when I was on the road, I would go to libraries to kill time. This is things that people don't know about me. if I had a night in Idaho City, what the fuck is there to do in Idaho City? What is Studio 50 fucking 4? There ain't nothing to fucking do in the daytime. So I would just go to a library and ask them about biographies and stuff like that. And I started reading about an interesting guy named Lenny Bruce. I told you guys years ago, Rogan has put it up on his podcast. The book to read is Ladies and Gentlemen, Lenny Bruce. And How to Talk Dirty and Influence People and How to Make Friends. I read all those books. Abby Hoffman, steal this book. You're dealing with the wrong fucking guy here. I read all those fucking books. When I moved to Boulder, I was into all that hippie shit. You know, Abby Hoffman and all that stuff that's part of the fucking game. But when I started reading about, I can't remember what it's Lenny Bruce, was when my eyes really opened up to what he had gone through. I don't know if you guys have any idea who Lenny Bruce is. But Lenny Bruce is a comic, I think, from the 60s, 50s, 70s, whatever the fuck. And his big thing was he was blue and he kept getting in trouble. See, the only places you could perform in those days as a stand-up comic were at strip clubs or burlesque shows. Like when I went to Tennessee to visit my in-laws a couple of years ago, there's a comedy club in Jackson that is fucking tremendous. It's just a little cave. But it used to be a burlesque place. So it couldn't be in Nashville because, you know what I'm saying, they would fucking bust you. So they made it like 45 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know how far Jackson is outside of Nashville. What am I, fucking MapQuest? I don't know. But I know that it's like a half hour or something. It's outside of the city limits. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like outside. So it was like burlesque. The owner was telling me that it was a burlesque place and that Lenny Bruce had performed there. I mean, this is all, that's cool. So there was no comedy clubs. The first comedy club was supposedly a Funny Bone out of Pittsburgh. That was, I don't know how true it is. If you guys want to research it and get back to me on it, get back to me. But that's the word on the street. It was a guy in Syracuse named Bruno Sharippa, and there was a guy in Pittsburgh. They were brothers, and supposedly they opened up the first. I don't know how real this is. You guys could fact check me. I'm just telling you what the fuck I heard. I didn't have time to fucking read up on it, but this is what I read about all those years. I read about Lenny Bruce and what he had gotten through. What he had gone through for us, okay? Like for other comics to come. Like he was getting arrested, whatever. And then you got Jim Morrison. And now we're talking about music. And he was doing something completely different. He took his dick out of Miami and all this shit.